Iawn, bore da pawb. Gobeithio pawb gallu clywed ni adre. Hopefully everyone can hear us at home joining us online. There is a slight echo here in the chamber. No. Okay, that's better. Good. Good. Yeah, warm welcome to everyone to Planning, Taxi Licensing and Rights of Way Committee on Thursday, 16th of April. We have a short agenda for you this morning, but nevertheless very important. So we'll kick off with apologies and roll call, please, Jade.
Gareth D. Jones.
Emma.
Tom Colbert.
Present.
Angela Davis.
Emma.
Deb Edwards.
Present.
France Morgans. Fleur France Morgans.
Present.
Peter James.
Emma.
Ed Jones.
Present.
Karina Kenyon Wade. Carl Lewis. Gareth Pugh.
Present.
David Selby.
Councillor Selby was with us.
David Selby. Yes. You're on mute. Let's see. Hugh Williams.
Emma.
And then we have apologies from Adrian Jones, Gareth E. Jones, Edwin Roderick, Elwyn Vaughan, and Jonathan Wilkinson.
Good. Thank you very much, dear. Well,
Chair,
yes,
can I say I have a funeral to attend at 1 o'clock, so just after 12 o'clock, providing everything is okay with yourself, I will leave if you don't mind.
Of course, thank you. I hope we will be somewhere near conclusion by then. Before I do move on, I would like to welcome two new planning officers who are with us this morning, Beata Tierbach and Rossio Bongiarni. A warm welcome to you, and I'm so look forward to you presenting to the committee in the very near future. Croeso cynnes i chi. Right, item 2, minutes of the previous meeting. To authorise the chair to sign the minutes of the meeting held on the 12th of March 2026 as a correct record. I'm looking pleased for a proposer and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Ed. Thank you, Councillor Deb. Planning. Item number 3 before us this morning, members. Declarations of interest. A, to receive any declarations of interest from members relating to items to be considered on the agenda. B, to receive members' requests that a record be made of their membership of town or community councils where discussions have taken place of matters for consideration of the committee. C, to receive declaration from members of the committee that they will be acting as a local representative in respect of an individual application being considered by the committee. And D, to note the details of members of the county council who are not members of the committee who will be acting as a local representative in respect of an individual application being considered by the committee. Councillor Amanda, I can't see you, but...
Oh, can you see me now, Chair?
No, yes, perfect.
Yeah, what do I need to confirm, sorry, Chair?
Just to confirm that you will be acting as a local representative.
Yes.
For application 25/1726/FUL.
Yeah, confirmed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How are we looking? Has Adrian managed to join us? No. Apologies, members. The reason we were starting late, we're trying to get Adrian in to give us an update on the LDP. Unfortunately, he's experiencing IT problems. So we're lucky that Gemma has agreed to step in and give us an update on the current state of the LDP, as we know it has expired, and just to give us all assurance and confidence that we are making decisions within policy. So Gemma, please, all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, apologies. Obviously, I haven't wrote the paper before you that was sent around as a update from policy. So just to update members, obviously you'll be aware that the current adopted local development plan had an end date of the 31st of March this year. Adrian has kindly put a document together, which hopefully you've all read, which clearly outlines and hopefully gives you that assurance that the current LDP was obviously fully scrutinised at that examination in public and found to be sound by an independent planning inspectors at that time. And as such, post the 31st of March, the LDP will remain a material consideration for the planning authority or other decision makers to have regard when determining an application. The report does go into a bit more detail, obviously, and I think the last probably paragraph is quite important. It just confirms that the legal precedent confirms a time expired LDP continues to have full legal status as a material consideration and forms a sound basis for planning decisions until it is replaced. The assessment of the relevance and weight of the LDP is a matter of planning judgment, considering factors such as consistency with current national policy and whether any new material considerations have emerged. From development management side, you will notice officers' reports will now have a paragraph just confirming our considerations. As with all applications, we consider them against Future Wales, Planning Policy Wales as well, which is obviously the national framework. Other than that, I open to any questions. I hope that's a brief assurance that we can continue to consider those policies.
Diolch, thank you, Gemma, for stepping in at the last minute. Members, have you any questions you wish to direct to the head of to Gemma now? Karina, please. Can you put your like?
I haven't received or read that paper. I don't know what should I be looking for.
It came under updates last night
Okay.
at I'm not sure what time it was sent out. About 4-ish, including the updates for 2 of the applications as well we got now. Anybody else wishing to ask a question? I can't see any hands. No. So
Do we
that
need-
thank you
do-
for
Chair, do you need it to be proposed for acceptance or?
I think it's more for information, councillor.
Okay,
Hugh, I think
yeah.
that's right, but no, diolch. Good. Right, members, moving on to the meat of the agenda today, the planning applications for consideration by the committee. First of all, updates. Can I ask that you've all received the updates and had a chance to read them? If are you happy if I just give a couple of minutes? I'll break for a couple of minutes, Karina, for you to have a quick scan of them, and anybody else as well, please take your time. Thank you. Good. Thank you all very much for your patience. So the first item before us this morning, Tenants Yard, Buttington Powys, and the officer taking us through this is Hannah. Hannah, over to yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members. So the application is 25-17264. for a proposed agricultural shed extension. So this is an aerial image of the site located on an existing agricultural yard and located within the open countryside, approximately just over 1 kilometre southeast of Trowen. The location plan shows a proposed extension outlined in red in relation to the whole site. You can see the other existing buildings there. And also, just to note, there is the dotted green line is a public right-of-way. The block plan outlining the proposed extension, whose intended use is the storage of agricultural machinery only. The floor plan, the extension will measure approximately 30 metres in length and 13 metres in width. Whilst the use of the building has been of a previous concern, updated plans have been provided that have removed feed barriers, and that was the purpose of the update report sent to you yesterday. So those concerns are now overcome by the use of both the new plans and a condition restricting the use to the storage of machinery only, so no livestock. The elevational plans, the ridge height will be approximately 7.4 metres and will match the height of the existing building. Materials will see the use of part concrete block, part green box profile sheeting, also to match the existing. You can see there's also some proposed solar panels there too on the south elevation. These are photographs of the existing site. The building under construction to the right of the first photo is an agricultural building previously approved under application 250337 full. And it will sit in between the proposed extension denoted with that yellow arrow and the highway. So sorry, the yellow arrow denotes the building to be extended under this application. These are photographs showing the access to the site from both directions. A private track leads up from the highway, and the site sits above that highway. This is the constraints map with the right-of-way outlined with the dotted black line. The bottom right photo, oh, I've moved it, have I? I have. No, yeah, so the bottom photograph, sorry, shows the entrance to the right-of-way, just to the left of the green gated entrance there. And it rises above the site. And then the other photograph is from the right-of-way looking down to the site. It is not a concern that the right-of-way will be detrimentally affected by this application. The next two slides are arrangement of photos taken from different vantage points in and around the site. The yellow star showing the location of the proposed extension. These photographs were taken from the highway looking up towards the site. You can see there the previously approved building, which is currently under construction. The photographs also show the existing natural screening provided by the mature tree and hedgerow line. Again, some more photos. The yellow arrow photograph from the entrance to the site, looking down towards the highway. And then the red arrow photograph is taken from the entrance of the site, access, looking back up towards the site, again, which is screened by mature hedgerow, existing hedgerow. So officers are minded to recommend approval of this application, subject to the conditions outlined. So I'll pass back to the chair now, because I believe we have speakers, Chair.
Yes, thank you, Diolch, Hannah. Yeah, we have two speakers this morning, Councillor Amanda Jenner and then Oliver Evans, the agent. Councillor Amanda, are you with us?
Yeah, diolch, Chair.
Can I remind you, we all both have 5 minutes and the time's yours when you're ready.
Thank you. Yes, just a really shortish comment from me, really. And the main concern that has been passed to me from the community is that there is a concern that the use is not agricultural. I understand from neighbours in the vicinity and local community members that this is a construction company, and that over a number of years, as the business has expanded here, there has been an increase in commercial and construction traffic movements. So I just like to understand from the planning officer what has been done to verify the response from the applicant that this is genuinely an agricultural business and has existing agricultural use and will be continued agricultural use. Has the officer been up and considered the use that's currently going on there? I'm personally not aware whether that's the case or not. I'm just going by feedback that I've had from my community. And if there is a concern that this isn't agricultural or it's a mix of agricultural and construction, then I'm just slightly concerned that traffic impact hasn't been adequately assessed. I note that the highways response is that there won't be any material changes in traffic movements. But, as long as that is in line with an existing sole agricultural use, then I can see how that would be the case. But if from what I'm gauging from local feedback that there is more of a construction building company here, then I feel like traffic impact does need to be further considered given the expansion. So that's my concern. I don't have anything else to add, Chair, and I'm grateful for the planning officer for also considering the landscape impact, which was also raised as a concern by my residents. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Diolch, Councillor Amanda. Mr. Oliver Evans, are you there?
Hello.
Hello there.
Good. So thank you for the opportunity to speak today. The application is a straightforward proposal for the extension of an existing agricultural building located within an established yard. It is important to emphasise from the outset that this is not a new isolated structure in the open countryside, but a modest extension to the existing and recently approved agricultural complex. The key issue raised in calling the application to committee is the landscape impact, and I would like to address that directly. Firstly, as set out clearly in the officer's report, the development is well related to the existing yard and reads as part of that established group of buildings. It's not out of scale or character for an agricultural development within Powys, and its design, including green profile sheeting matching the existing building, ensures it integrates visually into the rural landscape. Secondly, and critically, the proposal benefits from substantial and existing approved screening. The officer's visit confirms that the development will largely be screened by the recently approved constructed building, which sits between the proposal and the wider public views. In addition to this, there is a well-established hedgerow and tree belt along the roadside hedgerow, which further restricts visibility from public vantage points. Taken together, these factors significantly limits the visual presence of the development. For these reasons, the officer has concluded quite reasonably that the landscape and visual assessment would be disproportionate, and that the proposal does not result in unacceptable harm upon the landscape in line with policy DM4. Turning briefly to other concerns raised, traffic. There is no increase in traffic. The proposal does not introduce a new activity or machinery. It simply allows for existing machinery to be stored under cover rather than outside. The Highway Authority has no objections. Noise and amenity. There is no intensification of use. The building is conditioned to be used solely for agricultural machinery storage, and no livestock permitted, ensuring that additional noise or disturbance. Environmental protection has raised no concerns. Lighting, no lighting is proposed, and a condition ensures any future lighting would require approval. Ecology, the site is existing hard-standing yard, and the council's ecologist raises no objection, subject to standard conditions. Overall, this is a policy-compliant, well-contained agricultural development supported by technical consultees and recommended for approval by the officers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr Evans. Members, that concludes our speakers this morning. We've heard the officer's recommendation, so I'm looking for an indication of who wishes to ask the first question. Councillor Carina, please, followed by Councillor Hugh.
Thanks very much. I've just read a supplementary paper saying that it's now the designs have been submitted, which shows an open fronted shed. And you mentioned a lack of feed barriers, which I didn't understand. But why would this indicate that it would now just be used for machinery, please?
So we were just concerned that the inclusion of feed barriers gave the impression that livestock might be kept there, which isn't the intended purpose. So we requested those to be removed. And there's also a condition restricting anything other than the storage of machinery. So that includes the housing of livestock, but also just to go back on the comment made, but if I can, the local member, it also precludes any other commercial use, so just for storage of machinery, so
And-
no other commercial business from there.
And I think the agent said existing machinery only.
Yep, so we've also confirmed with the agent and applicant that it's not connected, this proposed building is not connected with the purchase of any additional machinery. It's purely for what is already on site, which isn't currently undercover. So it's just to provide undercover storage for existing machinery.
Thank you.
Diolch, thank you both. Councillor Hugh, please.
Thank you, Chair. It's just some clarification, really. I mean, how there's been mention of construction equipment. Now, how do you define construction equipment as opposed to agricultural equipment? Because this is not attached to a farm or anything like that, but it could be a business that rents out machinery, etc. But is there a definition that makes a difference between construction equipment and agricultural equipment?
Which one of you officers are smiling enough to take that question? Apart from the usage of diesel.
Yes, I think with anything, if we ever have any concerns, that has to go for an appropriate investigation stage. And there's a power of tools available to officers to thoroughly investigate that, whether there is a construction business operating from that site. So I think it comes down to probably that full investigation. Obviously, as we've seen from the photographs at the moment, there are quite large diggers on site, but there is planning permission, as Hannah said, and a building ongoing being constructed. So you would expect some level of those equipment to be there during those times. But we're definitely hearing the concerns raised from the local community and the local member. So I think it is very much, we've got the conditions recommended if members are there to support that. And we will obviously continue to monitor that site to ensure that it does operate in accordance with those permissions.
Thank you, Gemma. Councillor Hugh.
Yes, I'm with the locals with this, Chair. I'm not convinced by what it is, but having said that, I think we've been here before, and I can accept it, but I do think that definition needs to be made because there is a concern locally that it may stray from being an agricultural business into a construction with different types of machinery on site and on the roads. Thank you, Chair.
Diolch yn fawr. Councillor Angela, then Councillor Ed, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So the local member and the community council have called this in due to the landscape impact and the environmental concerns. But when we read all the responses, there are no objections, but there are some conditions from environmental protection and the ecologists. But the local member there seems to be more concerned that this is actually not an agricultural business and that it's a construction business. So why are we putting a condition that you can't put livestock? Because surely that would define an agricultural business. So I'm confused that we're being contradictory here.
Please, Hannah.
So that condition is to safeguard neighbourhood amenity. So they've come in for permission to store agricultural machinery. What we don't want is for that use to be extended for the housing of livestock, which carries then sort of other considerations such as odour, noise and other environmental protection concerns. So that's why environmental protection suggested that condition. I guess agricultural use doesn't have to mean livestock. Agricultural use has many definitions. And in this instance, it isn't the housing of livestock.
Happy, Councillor Angela? Good, thank you. Councillor Ed?
Well, Angela actually asked the question I was going to ask. It's about the livestock being held from there. But as we're only talking about this extension, I'm happy to go with recommendations and propose that.
Proposal, Councillor. Thank
Yes.
you very much. Proposal, Councillor Ed, to go with officer recommendation. I have Councillor Gareth Pugh and then Councillor Peter James, please. Councillor Gareth, you're on mute.
Sorry,
No.
Chair. Yeah, no, I'd like to second the proposal when you're ready to move it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gareth. Councillor Peter?
Thank you, Chair. I just want a bit of clarification. The officer said that it's to house original agricultural machinery that's already purchased and on site and not any new. Have they got a list of what agricultural machinery is on site already?
Anna, please.
I don't have that information, I'm afraid, no. I've just been told it's for what is already there to be undercover.
Would there be a list made?
If I could probably just come in here. I think yes, that's not something that's enforceable to us. I think the point perhaps Hannah is more trying to get across is it's not an expansion of a business, shall we say as such. It is just to house that equipment on site. So I think there is consideration here of perhaps we're going into a commercial use. Well, as per Hannah said in a report, there are conditions which limit that to the use as existing on that site. I think that comment more was about the expansion perhaps of a future development perhaps, but we can't control obviously if they change machinery and etc. But there are conditions, I think that's been recommended by the officers. And if we obviously, as we've mentioned, it does sway into perhaps potentially commercial, might not, then there is those conditions we can fall back on for enforcement purposes. But we have clarified with the agent, they have confirmed it's for agricultural use of storage. And that's where our recommendation comes from. And Highways have confirmed they have no objections on that use proposed.
But just to clarify, Gemma, if members were concerned that some other business was being run from there in future dates, they could come back to us, and with the conditions that you've opposed strongly now, then we'd be in a good position to move things on.
Yes, if there's ever concern there was a commercial operation, for example, whatever that may be operating from the site, then we have got conditions and potentially the use class to look back on for enforcement purposes.
Okay.
Councillor
for
Peter, excellent
Thank you.
question. Are you happy?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Councillor Angela, again, please. I did see Councillor Carina. Have you? Councillor Angela first, and I'll come to Councillor Carina.
So I'm just interested, if this was a machinery company, a civil engineering company or something else, and they applied for this shed extension in this position, would they gain planning permission?
I think we have to be careful that we have to consider the proposal before us today. There's many considerations we'd have to consider of whether that any future or different applications. There's nothing, there is existing buildings on site. So yes, a change of use could potentially be possible, but that would have to go through all consultation, like we've discussed, highway concerns, etc. But I think we need to just be careful today that the application before us today is very much for agriculture, and that's what we need to consider as members today.
So do we look at these as a rural business, which broadens that definition, or are we purely looking at it as an agriculture? And I think a lot of us have quite a narrow idea of what an agricultural business is, but in actual fact, really that is probably in reality a little bit broader than what we might think of a traditional agricultural business, isn't it? I think I need it more defined, the rule here on what can be classed as a rural or an agricultural business.
I think I probably need, sorry, a clarification of what you're considering could be a rural. Are you saying like contracting business, or that could be potential?
That could still be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So that's an agricultural
business isn't necessarily just a traditional family farm.
No.
There are other things that could also be classed as an agricultural business.
Which is
that's what I'm trying to get to.
which is Hannah's discussed. Obviously, agriculture doesn't just cover livestock. There can be a wider range, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Angela. Councillor Carina.
Sorry, is it up to the community to keep an eye and to contact you, or do you have procedures? Do you monitor yourselves as you now have enforcement officers? Thank you.
We're not proactively, unfortunately, unable to monitor every application. But yes, please, members of the public, local members, bring it to our attention. And likewise, when when officers are travelling the countryside for their site visits, etc., if there is anything that they raise of concern, that's how it's picked up. But please, members of the public, yes, please come to us if you do have those concerns.
Thank you very much. I think that's a legacy hand, is it, Councillor Angela? Good. I don't see any further expressions or wishing to speak. So in that case, it has been proposed by Councillor Ed, seconded by Councillor Gareth Pugh, that we go with officer recommendation. With no further speakers, can we take that to the vote, please? There you go. It's in the chat box. Are we looking, Jade? Has everyone had an opportunity to vote via the electronic system? If not, please indicate. I'll close the vote now.
It's not letting me in.
Happy to let you have a bit of time, or if you wish to vote verbally, whichever your preference. Yeah, if you're happy to, is that everybody? Jade, Steve, are we up? Yeah, Councillor Andrews, if you could vote verbally, please.
Support the officer's recommendation.
Thank you.
I have 10 for and 0 for against and 1 abstain.
Thank you very much. Thank you, members. So application has been passed as per officer recommendation. Thank you very much for your contributions, everyone. Moving on to the next item before us this morning. Application 260384 Agri, Kevin Coidmar Bungalow Sani. This is before us this morning as it is an application made by a relative of a close relative of an officer within the authority. So I'd like to come to Rachel now and confirm that you have looked at this. Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Members, given the nature of the applicant, I have taken the opportunity to review the file and I am satisfied that it has been processed correctly. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Yeah, the officer taking us through this is Rhian. There are no public speakers with us on this application, so Rhian, the floor is yours. Diolch.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members. So the submission relates to an agricultural notification for a proposed extension to an existing building for the purposes of storage. So the site for this is shown within the approximate yellow circle on the screen now, and sits northwest of Sarnai. The extension would sit on the northwestern side of an existing building, again roughly shown in yellow. So submission requirements for agricultural notifications are very limited. However, the submitted location plan seen here shows that the extension would be approximately square, within a floor area of approximately 83 square metres. The application form also confirms that the extension would be finished with concrete and wood for the walls under a fibre cement roof with skylights. So this is a photo of the area where the extension is proposed. And another photo just from a slightly different angle. So having considered the submitted notification, it is considered that the proposal is permitted development under Part 6 of the permitted development rights. It is further not considered that there are any concerns which would warrant further information to be requested through the prior approval process. The recommendation is therefore that the notification be determined as permitted development without the need for prior approval. Thank you. I'll pass back to the chair.
Thank you. Diolch, Rhian. Members, your thoughts, your comments, please. Welcome them. Councillor Angela.
Yes, Chair. So if I've read this correctly, the only reason it's come before this committee is because the applicant is a relation of an officer in the authority. So there's no consultees, there are no objections, it meets all the planning requirements, and in any other circumstance, this would be permitted development. So I move that we approve this. We've had the the word of our legal officer to say that everything's been done correctly. So that's my proposal.
Thank you, Councillor Angela. Councillor Ed, please.
Just a second, exactly what Angela just said.
Thank you, Councillor Ed. Give everyone an opportunity. Anyone else wishing to contribute further? No, I take it by your silence that you're all content. So in that case, Jade, shout if I've missed anything. Can we go to the vote, please? Thank you. Very efficient. There already. Yeah. How are we looking? Just Angela again.
Like me today.
As Angela proposed, yeah, are you happy to support? Thank you. Happy, Jade, Steve?
Yeah, 11 votes for, 0 against and 0 to abstain.
Excellent, thank you very much. So application 260384 actually has been approved as per officer recommendation. Thank you all very much. That does conclude the applications before us this morning. We do have another couple of items on the agenda, so please bear with us to receive the delegated list. It's a comprehensive list this month. Are there any questions? If not, I'm looking for a proposal and a seconder to accept them, please. Councillor Ed, thank you. Councillor Angela, thank you very much. Councillor Hugh, you have a question, please.
Yeah, can we acknowledge the work that's gone into this, Chair? There's an awful lot of applications been worked on here, and I think some people, as a planner, you can feel a little bit isolated perhaps at times, but I think we should say thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hugh. I can see a lot of nodding, happy faces to my left, so your words are well received, and and appreciated. Thank you very much, and possibly we might be thanking again when we come to the quarterly report as well. So if there's no further questions on that, I can't see any. No, I'm getting nervous. We're moving through this meeting too quick. So item number 7, please, the quarterly planning performance update. Gemma.
Thank you, Chair. I can't believe I'm quite reporting the quarter 4 stats. Where's that year gone? So just to give members an update of where we are. So for quarterly 4, enforcement, 80% of enforcement cases were investigated within the 84 days, which is exactly on target. For planning applications, 92% of all applications were determined within time. For major applications, it was 78% of those were in time, which again does exceed our target of 65%. Our average time taken to determine application was 117 days, which has been a slight reduction on previous quarters, but still just above our target of just 112 days, but we're so close. Percentage of appeals dismissed, that was at 100%, which is brilliant. So they're the figures for the quarter 4 performance. In addition to that, members, I just want to give you an update that from Monday, the 20th of April, we will be implementing a new IT system. So that does mean that you might see some slight changes. The first, probably for members of the public and yourselves, is the public funding website. So you will see a change to that. Now, in the interim, you will notice there'll be 2 links available, and hopefully the website will clearly explain that any application submitted after the 20th April or with a reference number, and as an example, use the top link, and then for anything previous, use the old link. That's just a temporary provision whilst we get all those documents put into the new system, and eventually then we'll just go to the one website link to view applications. In addition to that, you might notice reports might look slightly different. We have tried to retain that design or layout as we currently have it, but you just might notice that there is a slight change to report templates and how things are laid out. But other than that, it's going to be a busy week next week with the new IT software, but we're very happy and excited to see what that system can bring for us as a team, and as we continue to develop it. So I just wanted to update you that there will be those slight changes that you might notice. Thank you, Chair.
Diolch, Gemma. Any questions to Director Gemma following her update? No. Well, following on from Councillor Hughes' comments, thank you all, and please pass them on to the team. Our appreciation of all your hard work, and the figures are certainly going in the right way. So really appreciate all the hard work done by the department. Good. Moving on to our next item, which is number 8, taxi and other licensing, to authorise the chair to approve the minutes held on the 11th of December 2025. On that committee, the chairman was Councillor Jonathan and Jonathan Wilkinson, and the other councillors present were Councillor Dave Selby and Councillor Hugh Williams. So can I ask Councillor Hugh and Councillor Selby, are you both content that the minutes on page 105 of today's agenda pack are approved as a true and correct record?
Yes.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Selby?
Yes, Chair.
Thank you very much, both. Good. I believe that does conclude our meeting this morning, a very short but nevertheless important meeting. Can I take this opportunity to, I believe this is our last meeting for this current year. Thank all the officers and everyone who's contributed to making it so smooth, and also thank you to the members as well for all your attendance, and it's a preference of mine that members make an effort to come into the chamber, and I think the committee have been really responsive to that, and really wish to thank you for that. I am aware of one councillor who is stepping down from the committee. There'll be a new committee coming the new year. Councillor Angela, we've witnessed today your attention to detail and your thoroughness, and you will be missed in the next coming year, but I know how busy you are as a councillor in other committees, and I wish to thank you for all your hard work and dedication here and everywhere else. And if there are other councillors wish to step down, please don't. But nevertheless, thank you all very much. And again, Jade, you're stepping into the breach now. Next time will be the first time flying solo. So without any more waffling, 10 to 11, diolch yn fawr y pawb, and close the meeting at 10 to 11. Thank you.